The power of imagination begins with a simple yet profound question: what if you could? This question is a catalyst that shifts the mind from the constraints of what currently exists to the realm of possibility. Imagination is not merely fanciful thinking or idle daydreaming. It is the essential fuel for innovation, creativity, and transformation. When we dare to ask, "What if you could?" we activate the ability to envision new realities, challenge existing norms, and redefine what is achievable. This question serves as a gateway that invites the mind to explore uncharted territory, break free from conventional boundaries, and generate ideas that can change the world. Imagination empowers us to see beyond the present moment and the limitations of our current circumstances. It encourages us to visualize outcomes that may seem improbable or even impossible. But through this mental exercise, we begin to create a roadmap for turning those visions into reality. Every significant breakthrough in history started as a question. Someone imagining a different way of doing things, a better product, a new solution, or a transformative idea. This process of imagining "what if" propels progress as it fuels curiosity and drives the desire to explore alternatives to the status quo. When imagination is coupled with curiosity, it becomes an unstoppable force. The question, "What if you could?" prompts us to investigate, experiment, and explore. It awakens the mindset of a problem solver and a visionary, one who refuses to accept limitations as permanent barriers. This mindset sparks a creative process where hypotheses are tested, possibilities are expanded, and new ideas emerge. Imagination challenges us to think differently about the world and ourselves, fostering innovation that can disrupt industries, solve global problems, or create entirely new ways of living and working. Moreover, imagination nurtures empathy and perspective-taking. By asking "what if you could?" we open ourselves to consider the experiences, needs, and desires of others. This empathetic imagination is vital in designing products, services, or policies that truly resonate with and serve people. It pushes beyond personal biases and narrow viewpoints to embrace diversity in thought and experience. In this way, imagination fuels human-centered innovation, where the question, "what if you could?" becomes a tool to envision better futures for communities and societies. The ability to imagine is deeply tied to hope and motivation. When we ask ourselves, "what if you could?" we ignite a sense of possibility that counters cynicism and defeatism. This hopeful mindset provides the emotional energy necessary to take risks and face uncertainty. Imagination allows us to see potential rewards and the impact of our efforts before they materialize, providing the inspiration needed to persevere through challenges. It turns obstacles into opportunities by reframing problems as puzzles to be solved rather than insurmountable walls. Importantly, imagination is not limited to the arts or abstract thinking. It is a practical tool applicable to every domain, from technology and science to business and education. In technology, imagining new capabilities drives the development of groundbreaking devices and software that redefine human interaction and productivity. In business, imagining different strategies or market approaches leads to competitive advantage and growth. In education, fostering imagination prepares individuals to adapt and innovate in a rapidly changing world. The question, "what if you could?" invites continuous learning and adaptation, essential in today's dynamic environment. The creative process sparked by imagination involves both divergent and convergent thinking. Divergent thinking allows the generation of many possible ideas without immediate judgment or limitation. This phase is where "what if you could?" flourishes, producing bold, unconventional concepts. Convergent thinking then evaluates and refines these ideas, selecting the most viable to bring into reality. Imagination thus functions not only as a source of inspiration, but also as the foundation for practical problem solving and implementation. Encouraging imagination requires cultivating an environment that values curiosity, openness, and experimentation. Fear of failure or criticism often stifles the willingness to ask, "What if you could?" When individuals or organizations create safe spaces for brainstorming, risk-taking, and creative thinking, imagination thrives. Leaders play a crucial role in modeling imaginative thinking and encouraging others to challenge assumptions and propose new ideas. By fostering imagination, they create cultures that continuously evolve and innovate, expanding the realm of possibility. Technological advances, paradoxically, both challenge and expand our imagination. On one hand, they set new benchmarks that can make existing achievements seem limited. On the other hand, they provide powerful tools to realize what once seemed impossible. Artificial intelligence, virtual reality, biotechnology, and other emerging fields invite us to imagine futures far beyond previous constraints. The question, "What if you could?" becomes increasingly relevant as we consider how to harness these technologies ethically and creatively to solve human problems and elevate the quality of life. Finally, imagination nurtures personal growth and self-realization. It empowers individuals to envision who they might become, what they might achieve, and how they might contribute uniquely to the world. By asking, "What if you could?" we challenge our own perceived limitations and open doors to new skills, passions, and experiences. Imagination fuels ambition and purpose, motivating us to pursue goals that align with our deepest values and dreams. It reminds us that our capacity to create meaning and impact is limited only by the boundaries of our imagination. In essence, the power of imagination lies in its ability to transform questions into possibilities and possibilities into realities. The simple yet profound act of asking, "What if you could?" unlocks the creative spirit that drives innovation, inspires hope, and shapes a future defined not by constraints, but by potential. It is through imagination that we transcend the ordinary, pushing the limits of what is possible and crafting a life and a world that reflects the boldness of our dreams. Limitations, both external and internal, often define the boundaries within which we operate, but these boundaries are not as fixed as they appear. Many of the barriers we face are self-imposed, shaped by our beliefs, fears, and perceptions rather than objective reality. Understanding and breaking free from these limitations is a fundamental step toward realizing our full potential. When we ask ourselves, "What if you could?" we challenge the constraints that hold us back, whether they are societal expectations, past failures, lack of resources, or internal doubts. Self-imposed limitations often arise from our mindset, the collection of beliefs and attitudes that shape how we view ourselves and the world. Fixed mindsets convince us that abilities and intelligence are static, discouraging risk-taking and experimentation. These mental barriers convince us that failure is a reflection of our identity rather than a step toward growth. They whisper that this is as good as it gets, shutting down possibilities before they can be explored. Breaking these mental chains requires recognizing the power of growth mindset, the belief that abilities can be developed through effort and learning. When we shift our mindset, the very nature of limitation changes, transforming obstacles into opportunities for development. External limitations, such as social norms, economic constraints, or systemic barriers, can also seem insurmountable. Yet history is full of examples where individuals and movements have transcended these obstacles through creativity, persistence, and collective action. The question, "What if you could?" invites us to look at these limitations not as permanent walls, but as challenges to be navigated or dismantled. It encourages innovative thinking about how to circumvent or transform barriers rather than accept them as givens. This reframing is essential for breakthrough progress in technology, social justice, and personal achievement. Fear is one of the most pervasive forms of limitation. Fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown often keeps us from taking the first step toward a goal or dream. It convinces us that risk is too high or that we lack the necessary skills or support. This fear is often rooted in past experiences or imagined worst-case scenarios rather than present realities. Breaking free from fear requires cultivating courage, the willingness to act despite uncertainty and discomfort. Courage doesn't mean absence of fear. It means moving forward in spite of it. Each act of courage expands the boundaries of what we believe is possible and redefines our personal limits. Limiting beliefs are often reinforced by the narratives we tell ourselves and others. These stories shape our identity and influence our choices. For example, someone who believes "I'm not creative" may avoid opportunities for innovation, while another who thinks "I don't deserve success" may self-sabotage. Changing these narratives is a powerful way to break limitations. By consciously rewriting our internal dialogue to focus on strengths, potential, and possibility, we open new pathways for growth. Affirmations, visualization, and reflection are tools that help reshape our self-perception and encourage us to step beyond old confines. The role of environment in perpetuating limitations cannot be overstated. Surrounding ourselves with limiting influences, negative people, restrictive cultures, or discouraging circumstances can sap motivation and narrow vision. Conversely, choosing environments that support growth, encourage experimentation, and celebrate effort fosters a mindset of possibility. Mentors, peers, and communities that challenge us constructively push us to expand our horizons. This dynamic interplay between individual mindset and external environment shapes how effectively we can break free from limitations. Another critical aspect is the willingness to embrace discomfort and uncertainty. Growth rarely happens within the comfort zone. True expansion of potential requires stepping into unfamiliar territory, where outcomes are uncertain and failure is possible. The discomfort experienced during this process is often mistaken for a signal to retreat. However, it is precisely this discomfort that signals growth and transformation. Learning to tolerate and even welcome discomfort enables us to push past perceived limits and discover new capabilities. The dash in life is extended and enriched by these moments of courageous exploration. Learning from setbacks and failures is central to overcoming limitations. When we fail, it is tempting to see this as confirmation of our limits. However, failure is an invaluable teacher that reveals weaknesses, gaps, and areas for improvement. Viewing failure as feedback rather than defeat shifts our relationship with limitation. It encourages resilience, the capacity to bounce back stronger and wiser. Resilience is built through persistence and reframing challenges as essential steps toward mastery. Each recovery from failure expands our sense of what we can endure and achieve. Technology and innovation also serve as means to break limitations. Tools and knowledge empower us to do things that were once impossible. Access to information, communication, and advanced machinery open doors to new fields, ideas, and collaborations. The question, "What if you could?" becomes a prompt to explore how emerging technologies can overcome physical, social, or economic barriers. For example, assistive technologies expand opportunities for individuals with disabilities, while digital platforms create global connections that transcend geography. Innovation is the practical application of breaking limitations. Creativity plays a crucial role in reframing limitations as challenges to solve rather than insurmountable obstacles. Creative thinking encourages us to ask different questions, combine ideas in novel ways, and approach problems from multiple angles. This approach often reveals opportunities hidden within constraints. For instance, limited resources can spark ingenious solutions that are more efficient and sustainable. Constraints themselves can be a catalyst for innovation when approached with a mindset of possibility. The process of creative problem-solving is a powerful antidote to limitation. Finally, breaking limitations requires patience and persistence. Transforming long-held beliefs, changing environments, and developing new skills do not happen overnight. The journey to surpass limits is ongoing and requires sustained effort. It demands continuous learning, adaptation, and the humility to accept setbacks while maintaining focus on the vision of what could be. The question, "What if you could?" is not a single moment of inspiration, but a continuous invitation to push boundaries, reinvent ourselves, and redefine what is possible. In essence, limitations are not absolute barriers, but challenges to be met with courage, creativity, and resilience. By recognizing the nature of our limits and actively working to transcend them, we unlock vast reservoirs of potential. The power to break free from limitations transforms the dash of life into a dynamic journey of discovery, achievement, and fulfillment. Vision and belief are the twin engines that propel individuals and organizations beyond the ordinary into realms of extraordinary achievement. Vision is the ability to see beyond the immediate, to picture a future that does not yet exist, but holds the promise of what could be. It is a mental image of success, innovation, or transformation that guides decision-making and fuels motivation. Without vision, actions become aimless and efforts scattered. Vision acts as a compass, giving direction and purpose to every step taken. It frames challenges as part of a larger journey and creates a sense of meaning that sustains perseverance even in the face of adversity. Belief, closely intertwined with vision, is the unwavering confidence that this envisioned future is attainable. It is more than hope or wishful thinking. Belief is a deep, seated conviction grounded in values, preparation, and experience. Belief gives vision the power to overcome doubt, skepticism, and opposition. It instills the resilience needed to weather setbacks and the persistence required to keep moving forward when results are not immediate. Belief transforms vision from a distant dream into a tangible goal by providing the emotional and psychological energy necessary for action. Together, vision and belief create a feedback loop that magnifies their individual strengths. A compelling vision inspires belief, and strong belief energizes commitment to realizing the vision. This synergy ignites innovation by encouraging risk-taking and creative problem-solving. Vision provides the destination, while belief fuels the journey. This dynamic is evident in countless examples of breakthrough leaders who have reshaped industries and societies by holding steadfast to their vision and belief despite criticism or failure. Vision serves as a unifying force for teams and organizations. When shared clearly and passionately, it aligns diverse talents and resources toward a common goal. This alignment fosters collaboration and coherence, making it easier to prioritize efforts and allocate resources effectively. A compelling vision creates emotional engagement, inspiring individuals to go beyond their job descriptions and contribute with passion and creativity. Belief in the vision builds trust and confidence within teams, enabling risk-taking and experimentation without fear of immediate failure. Together, they create a culture of innovation and excellence. The development of vision requires deep insight and clarity about what truly matters. It involves identifying unmet needs, emerging trends, and latent opportunities. Visionaries do not simply replicate existing models. They imagine new possibilities that challenge assumptions and break new ground. This requires curiosity, open-mindedness, and a willingness to question the status quo. Vision is not static. It evolves as new information and feedback are integrated. A powerful vision balances ambition with realism, setting a challenging yet achievable target that stretches capabilities without causing paralysis. Belief is strengthened through preparation and experience. Confidence is built by mastering skills, acquiring knowledge, and learning from past successes and failures. Belief rooted in competence is more resilient because it is based on evidence and capability rather than blind optimism. It is also reinforced by a strong sense of purpose, understanding why the vision matters and how it aligns with personal or organizational values. Purpose-driven belief provides motivation that sustains effort during difficult times and inspires others to join the cause. Vision and belief also play a critical role in overcoming fear and uncertainty. The future is inherently uncertain, and embarking on ambitious endeavors invites risks and challenges. Vision provides a clear picture of the desired outcome, reducing ambiguity and anxiety about the unknown. Belief bolsters courage, enabling individuals to face uncertainty with confidence rather than hesitation. This combination empowers leaders and innovators to make bold decisions, invest in new ideas, and persist through setbacks that would otherwise derail progress. The power of vision and belief extends beyond individual achievement to societal impact. Visionary leaders who believe in their mission inspire movements and change entire industries. Their vision often encapsulates not just personal success, but a better world or improved quality of life for others. This broader perspective increases the magnitude and significance of their efforts. Belief in the positive impact of their work fuels their dedication and resilience, enabling them to mobilize resources and influence others toward collective action. In practice, nurturing vision and belief requires intentional reflection and cultivation. Regularly revisiting and refining one's vision ensures it remains relevant and inspiring. Seeking feedback and diverse perspectives can challenge assumptions and enrich the vision. Similarly, strengthening belief involves continuous learning, skill building, and connecting with sources of inspiration and support. Surrounding oneself with mentors, peers, and communities that share or support the vision reinforces belief and provides encouragement during setbacks. Vision and belief are essential ingredients in the recipe for innovation and leadership. They transform abstract ideas into compelling goals and ignite the passion needed to pursue them relentlessly. By cultivating a clear, ambitious vision and nurturing deep belief in its attainability, individuals and organizations can break through limitations and achieve extraordinary outcomes. This powerful combination enables us to ask, "What if you could?" and respond with conviction and action, turning possibility into reality and dreams into impact. Action is the bridge between possibility and reality, the essential force that transforms ideas, dreams, and visions into tangible outcomes. Without action, even the most compelling questions, such as "what if you could," remain abstract and unfulfilled. Taking decisive, consistent action is what separates those who realize their potential from those who merely imagine it. Action embodies commitment. It is the practical demonstration of belief and vision in motion. It requires moving beyond planning and contemplation to engagement, risk, and effort. Effective action begins with clarity of purpose. Knowing why a goal matters creates a powerful motivational anchor that guides decisions and sustains effort. When purpose is clear, action becomes more focused and deliberate rather than scattered or reactive. This clarity helps prioritize tasks, allocate resources wisely, and maintain momentum over time. Action fueled by purpose is resilient. It adapts to obstacles and setbacks without losing sight of the end goal. Each step taken is an investment toward building the future envisioned. Momentum is a critical aspect of action. Often the hardest part is starting, overcoming inertia and the fear of failure or uncertainty. Once initial steps are taken, momentum generates its own energy, making subsequent actions easier and more natural. Momentum builds confidence and motivation, creating a virtuous cycle where progress inspires further effort. Small wins along the way reinforce belief in the possibility of success and reduce the psychological barriers that can stall progress. Action, therefore, is not always about giant leaps, but consistent, incremental progress. Action also requires courage, the willingness to face uncertainty, discomfort, and potential failure. Ambitious goals often involve venturing into unknown territory where risks are high and outcomes uncertain. Courageous action embraces these challenges rather than avoiding them. It recognizes that mistakes and setbacks are part of the learning process and valuable feedback. This mindset transforms failure from a source of discouragement into a stepping stone for growth. Courageous action fosters experimentation, innovation, and the agility to pivot when necessary. Another essential element of action is discipline. The difference between aspiration and achievement often lies in the ability to maintain consistent effort over time, especially when initial enthusiasm wanes. Discipline involves creating habits, routines, and structures that support sustained action. It requires prioritizing long-term goals over short-term gratification and resisting distractions that dilute focus. Discipline also means managing energy and well-being to avoid burnout, ensuring that action is sustainable. This ongoing commitment enables breakthroughs that happen not overnight, but through persistence and resilience. Accountability enhances the effectiveness of action. Sharing goals and progress with others creates external motivation and a sense of responsibility. Accountability partners, mentors, or teams provide support, encouragement, and constructive feedback. They help maintain focus and momentum, especially during challenging periods. Public commitment increases the likelihood of follow-through, turning intentions into results. Accountability also fosters transparency and reflection, allowing for course corrections and continuous improvement in the action plan. Taking action involves making decisions, often under conditions of ambiguity and incomplete information. Procrastination or indecision can stall progress indefinitely. Effective action requires decisiveness, the ability to make informed choices swiftly and confidently, knowing that some level of uncertainty is inevitable. Decisive action does not mean reckless impulsiveness, but a balance between thoughtful analysis and timely execution. It embraces the reality that waiting for perfect conditions is a trap that delays progress and undermines opportunity. Collaboration magnifies the power of action. Complex challenges and ambitious visions usually cannot be realized by individual effort alone. Working with others brings diverse skills, perspectives, and resources that enrich the process and enhance outcomes. Effective collaboration requires clear communication, shared goals, mutual respect, and the ability to integrate contributions constructively. Collective action harnesses the energy of teams and communities, creating synergy where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. It turns individual ambition into collective impact. Reflection is a vital companion to action, periodically assessing what is working, what isn't, and why allows for learning and adjustment. Reflection prevents wasted effort and helps identify new opportunities or challenges that may have emerged. It deepens self-awareness and strengthens decision-making for future actions. Reflection also reinforces motivation by recognizing progress and celebrating achievements, no matter how small. This cycle of action and reflection creates a dynamic process of continuous growth and improvement. Technology and tools can enhance the effectiveness and reach of action. Leveraging digital platforms, automation, data analytics, and communication technologies enables faster execution, broader collaboration, and more informed decisions. These tools can break down geographic and resource barriers, accelerating the pace of progress. However, technology alone is not sufficient without the human drive to act. It is the combination of tools with purposeful, disciplined, and courageous action that drives transformative change. In essence, action is the living expression of possibility. It takes the question, "What if you could?" from the realm of thought into the world of doing. Action turns vision and belief into measurable progress, dreams into achievements, and potential into reality. It demands clarity, courage, discipline, decisiveness, collaboration, and reflection. Those who master the art of action harness the true power to shape their destiny, impact others, and leave a meaningful legacy. Resilience is the cornerstone of enduring success and the essential quality that enables us to navigate the inevitable challenges and setbacks encountered on the path toward any meaningful goal. Resilience is more than simply bouncing back from adversity. It is the capacity to absorb shocks, adapt to changing circumstances, and emerge stronger and more determined than before. When asking, "What if you could?" Resilience is the force that transforms this question from mere possibility into sustained effort despite obstacles. Without resilience, even the most promising opportunities may falter under pressure, discouragement, or failure. Developing resilience begins with mindset, viewing setbacks not as permanent failures, but as temporary challenges and learning opportunities fosters a growth-oriented perspective. This mindset recognizes that obstacles are an integral part of any journey towards success, offering valuable insights into weaknesses, gaps, or areas needing improvement. Resilient individuals do not let failure define their identity. Instead, they separate their sense of self-worth from specific outcomes and focus on the process of continual growth. This mental reframing builds emotional strength, making it easier to face difficulties without becoming overwhelmed or discouraged. Resilience is closely tied to emotional regulation, the ability to manage stress, anxiety, and frustration effectively. High-pressure situations often trigger emotional reactions that can cloud judgment and impair decision-making. Resilient people cultivate practices that promote calmness, clarity, and focus under stress, such as mindfulness, reflection, or physical exercise. By maintaining emotional balance, they can respond to challenges thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This emotional control preserves energy and mental resources, allowing for strategic problem solving and maintaining momentum. Another critical aspect of resilience is adaptability. The capacity to adjust strategies, expectations, and behaviors in response to changing conditions is essential when pursuing ambitious goals. Resilience is not rigid persistence, but flexible persistence. It involves knowing when to hold firm and when to pivot. Adaptability allows individuals and organizations to learn from experience, incorporate new information, and refine approaches to increase the likelihood of success. It requires humility and openness to feedback, which can be uncomfortable but ultimately strengthens resolve and effectiveness. Support systems play a vital role in fostering resilience. No one achieves greatness in isolation, and having a network of mentors, peers, family, or colleagues provides emotional support, advice, and encouragement during tough times. These relationships offer perspective, helping to normalize setbacks and reduce feelings of isolation or discouragement. Social support also promotes accountability and motivation, reminding us of our goals and the reasons behind our efforts. Building and nurturing these connections strengthens the foundation on which resilience is built. Resilience also involves maintaining a strong sense of purpose, a clear understanding of why a goal matters, the values, vision, or impact behind it, provides the motivation to persevere when faced with obstacles. Purpose acts as a compass that guides decision-making and energizes action, even when external rewards or progress are limited. This deeper connection to meaning sustains commitment and fuels the psychological endurance necessary for long-term effort. Purpose-driven resilience transforms challenges into meaningful tests rather than meaningless burdens. Physical well-being contributes significantly to resilience. The mind and body are deeply interconnected, and maintaining health through adequate sleep, nutrition, exercise, and stress management enhances cognitive function and emotional stability. When physical resources are depleted, resilience weakens, making it harder to cope with adversity. Prioritizing self-care ensures that we have the stamina and mental clarity needed to face challenges effectively. This holistic approach recognizes resilience as a multidimensional capacity requiring attention to both internal and external factors. Learning from failure is a hallmark of resilience. Instead of avoiding or denying failure, resilient individuals analyze what went wrong and extract lessons that inform future efforts. This process of reflection and learning transforms failures into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. It encourages experimentation and risk-taking by reducing the fear associated with failure. Viewing setbacks as essential components of the innovation and growth process fosters persistence and continuous improvement. Resilience is also strengthened by cultivating optimism, a realistic yet hopeful outlook on the future. Optimism provides motivation and enhances problem solving by encouraging the belief that challenges can be overcome. It is not blind positivity, but a balanced perspective that acknowledges difficulties while focusing on possibilities. Optimistic individuals are more likely to persevere and engage in proactive behaviors that increase their chances of success. This hopeful mindset creates a psychological buffer against discouragement and despair. Resilience requires patience. Significant achievements rarely occur overnight and often demand sustained effort over long periods. Patience involves accepting the pace of progress and maintaining focus despite delays or incremental results. It prevents frustration and burnout by setting realistic expectations and appreciating small victories along the way. Patience combined with persistence creates a steady, enduring force that pushes forward even when immediate rewards are not apparent. In organizational contexts, resilience is a cultural value that supports innovation and agility. Resilient organizations encourage experimentation, tolerate failure as part of learning, and promote open communication about challenges. They invest in developing their people's skills and well-being to build collective strength. Such organizations can pivot quickly in response to market changes or crises, maintaining performance and morale. This organizational resilience mirrors the personal resilience of its members, creating an ecosystem where "what if you could" is met with tenacity and creativity rather than resignation. Ultimately, resilience transforms the uncertainty and risk inherent in pursuing ambitious goals into a manageable and even energizing aspect of the journey. It empowers individuals and organizations to maintain their course through adversity, learn continuously, and grow stronger. Resilience is the engine that powers the transition from asking "what if you could" to living it fully and successfully, making it a vital component of realizing one's highest potential and impact.